Unfortunately, I would probably have to say this film is my least favorite MCU film in many years, since like Thor the Dark World. It was not good at all. I think I may have preferred Thor the Dark World to this film actually. Rewatchability, I think I'd rather watch that, and that really is not good. This might be my second worst MCU film ever. And that comes from someone who really loved the first one. It was new, innovative, fresh, different, and this one was just nothing. And the problem is, I don't know where the fault lies here. I don't think it was particularly poorly directed. I don't think that the writing was particularly bad. The actors did decent jobs in their roles. I think Evangeline Lilly was like 10 times better in this film than she was in the last one, and she sort of made this film bearable at points. So I don't think it was the fault of the actors either, because Michael Pena was great as Louise. Paul Rudd as Ant-Man gives something special to the character, but there was something off-kiln about this film. It just felt very disconnected and disjointed. Maybe the pacing was off, but there was something more to it than that, but I can't put my finger on it. It just wasn't a good film. Like, I think it was just the story as a whole just wasn't good. And it had cool concepts, but the story was just shit. And I think the villain was a bit weak as well. They tried to do the thing where, oh, the villain's not really a villain, they're sort of not that bad, they have motive and reason for what they're doing, but it wasn't really a motive. It was like, you're still evil at the end of the day. It doesn't matter, you know, maybe you change your tune at the end, but through the film you're an evil character. So I think they tried to play that a bit too much, like the bait and switch they tried. Something I was a bit confused at when they were filming the film was when the film was going to be set, whether it was just before Infinity War, just after Civil War. It's a couple years after Civil War, it's about 2 years after Civil War. It's essentially based just before Infinity War starts, I would think. But they do say something in the film about time vortexes. Now, they said that and my mind just clung to it. People saying he's the time traveling element. No, 100% it's going to be him who leads them down a time loop in Avengers 4, and that's why he's going to be much more integral. Actually, he wasn't even in Infinity War, so he's going to be actually integral to Avengers 4, which I'm glad he will, because he will add some levity to the situation. But I'm telling you guys, I don't know what was wrong with this film, and it's really boggling my mind, because everything seemed to just line up. There was comedy in it, it was funny, there was serious moments, the acting was good, the directing was decent, the writing wasn't that bad, the dialogue wasn't terrible. So I think it just comes down to the fact that it was just a shit story. It wasn't good. And if you don't have a good story, you can't have anything. Maybe they had a good concept for a story, but when they extrapolated that out to a 120-minute film, it just wasn't there. There was a missing link here somewhere, which is sad to see, because like I said, it is probably my least favorite film other than The Incredible Hulk. And I even didn't mind The Incredible Hulk. Could have been a lot better, but it's not the worst film in the world. This might be even worse than that. This might be my least favorite. This might be my actually least favorite MCU film. That's not good. You can tell that I'm not really into this, because watching that film really just sort of took a toll on you. It really did. Actually, one bad thing about the film was the amount of scientific mumbo jumbo they spewed. Like, man, I like that type of stuff. I really do. It's one of the things I like in films, when they explain stuff properly. But the amount of exposition they were given to this stuff, the amount of scientific explanation they were given, I was like, stop it. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't need that in my life. And I'm sure it pissed off a lot of people. So just a rule of thumb, don't make people go back to school in a film. It was a problem I had with Mission Impossible 6 as well, and they did the same thing here. If it's not balanced well, it really pulls you away from the film, and it definitely did that. I don't really have anything else to say about this, really. I don't want to bash the film too much needlessly, because it wasn't a terrible film, it just wasn't a good film. Like, I don't know, what would I give a film out of 10 like this? It's tough, because was it what? You know what, I'm gonna give it a floundering 5 out of 10. I'm gonna say it's my least favorite MCU film. No other film has got a rating that low, I don't think. No. So a 5 out of 10, yeah. What do you think? What do you think? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe some people think I'm being too generous. Apparently the critics loved it, but that's not always the best gauge for it, as we found out in the last year. Anyway guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do like, share, comment and subscribe to the channel down there. If you didn't, then Ant-Man himself is gonna come after you. Now, as you know, Ant-Man, he can go Giant Man, and now he's sort of like, he can go Micro Man, and he can also use time travel apparently now as well. Not shown in this film, but potentially in the next one. And so what he'll do is he'll go back in time and stop you from being born. if you don't subscribe. And you don't want that, you really don't, so just subscribe anyway to avoid that. I've been NarendraTheComic, you have been great, and I'll see you next time. Skadoosh.